Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, here it is, another Wednesday, and today I went to the dentist, and I will tell you the story. It's very brief. I haven't been to the dentist in 28 years until now. 28 years. And they already did a cleaning on me the other day, and they gave me 4 fillings on this side, and next time I go they're going to give me 4 fillings on this side. So I had 8 cavities. Count them, 8 cavities. And that's from not going to the dentist in 28 years and not taking very good care of my teeth. But I have naturally strong teeth, and no matter how strong your teeth are naturally, if you don't take care of them, you're going to have cavities. So just a little piece of advice, not an order, not telling you what to do at all. Not telling you what to do at all, but just a little piece of advice. Please, please take better care of your teeth than I took of mine. I didn't brush my teeth every day, and I didn't floss at all. Never flossed. I can't even get floss between my teeth. So, because they're so close together. So, take better care of your teeth than I took of mine, and save yourself a lot of grief at the dentist. Just a piece of advice, not telling you what to do. So today's topic is, I don't like your rules. And what does this mean? What does it mean to say I don't like your rules, and why would I not like your rules, and whose rules do I not like? Well, there's many rules that I don't like. And I'm a naturally rebellious person, I'll admit. I am a natural rebel, and I tend to rebel against authority figures. And I do not like rules at all. So I don't like being told what to do any more than anyone else does. I know you don't like being told to take better care of your teeth so that you won't have grief at the dentist. But I had lots of grief at the dentist today because I didn't take care of my teeth, so that was one consequence. And so, but there's rules that are worth following, like taking care of your teeth, and then there's rules that aren't worth following. So what's an example of some rules that aren't worth following? Well, discrimination in any form is a rule that is not worth following. And there's discrimination in many forms. There's discrimination against Black people. There's a discrimination against Indians, Native Americans. There's discrimination against Asian people. There's discrimination against Latinos and Mexican people. And there's discrimination against gay people. And there's discrimination against women. And there's discrimination against practically every disadvantaged group you can think of. There's even discrimination against animals, which is maybe not a concern of yours specifically. But there's all sorts of forms of discrimination, and discrimination against humans is deplorable, and we should oppose it whenever possible. So that's an example of a rule I choose to break, that I choose not to follow rules that discriminate against minorities and women. So what are some other rules that I choose not to follow that are bad for us? Well, how about Trump's rule that there has to be a border wall? That's a rule that I can't stand. It's deplorable. It's keeping people out who are mostly innocent. Because let's face it, the people who want to be in this country are not all criminals and all terrorists. Most of them, the vast majority of them, are innocent. And guess what? They're just like us. They just want to be Americans. And is that so bad? I mean, America's a great place and we're privileged in the whole world to be Americans. So who wouldn't want to be an American? So how can we fault these people? How can we fault these people for wanting to be Americans? And how can we build a big wall to keep them out so they can't become Americans, American citizens? There should be a path to citizenship for people who are desperate enough to come here and try to cross a barrier that we put up, because some people are desperate. They're trying to get away from crime and horrors in their own lands where they're being tortured and enduring great hardship. And a lot of that hardship is our fault. We can lay the fault at our doorstep because of our policies in Latin America. We're causing all these problems for these people. So if we had better policies, if we had open doors, it would be a better world. I think so. But Trump seems to think everyone who wants to be in this country is a big criminal and he has to keep them out. Obviously, Canadians don't want to come here. They have a great country of their own and they don't need to become American citizens. So they don't need to or want to be here. So we don't have to put up a border wall between us and Canada. But Mexico is a different story because the countries are overridden with drugs and crime. And people are just trying to get away. They're trying to escape from the crime and the drugs and the bad life and the dangers, because a lot of them get shot. So they're trying to escape, and they're trying to come here to escape. And what do? We demand a big border wall to keep them out. Well, that's not very safe for them. It may be safe for us, but it's not safe for them, and it's not safe for the majority of good people who want to be here. So I say no to a border wall. Just say no to the border wall, okay? Because bad hombres can come in, but we already have bad hombres. Most people who want to come in are not bad hombres, okay? Most of them, the vast majority of them, are good hombres. So Trump is very discriminatory toward Latin Americans, and he's already killed a few children in his custody that were in the custody of the Border Patrol, and they died in the custody of the Border Patrol. They didn't give them water, and they didn't keep them alive. So we are to blame. We're guilty. And we're building a wall that's probably people will keep coming here, not hearing about the border wall, and they'll run smack into the border wall and die on the other side of it. So that's what's going to happen, people dying. And we're just terrible people not to take these people in that are experiencing these horrors in their home countries. So what's an example of some other rules that I don't want to follow? Well, discrimination's a big one. That's one of the rules that I choose not to follow, discrimination of any way, shape, or form. There's all sorts of rules that people make that are just arbitrary, that they shouldn't make, like that a woman has to have evidence of her marriage license, and her divorce papers to prove that her name changed so that she can get a driver's license. Just to get a driver's license in a particular given state, they demand all of this documentation for women. They don't demand the same thing of men because their names haven't changed. So that's a form of discrimination. That's a rule that I oppose. There's all sorts of rules like this. There's all sorts of ways that our society chooses to discriminate against women, and it's wrong. It's wrong, and we should change it. We should change it if we possibly can and make life better for women, especially because they're American citizens, and Now they're going to, if you're on EBT, I am on EBT. That's food stamps for those of you who don't know. It's called SNAP. But you get an EBT card to spend your money. They're going to cut it off after January. So January is the last time we're getting paid before they cut it off. Why are they cutting it off? Because Trump wants money for a border wall, and he's going to cut off all government services until he gets it. And eventually they might cut off Social Security too. They might cut off Social Security and SSI because there's no one to take care of the paperwork, so that the government's going to grind to a halt. And Trump wants to keep it going for years. Well, people can't survive that long, and a lot of people will be out on the streets. There will be a lot of homeless, poor people on the street because of Trump, and no one's going to help them. No one's going to take them in. They'll just wind up in a shelter sleeping on a hard mat that you can't sleep on, and you can't get a good night's rest, and you're awake all night, and there's bed bugs, and there's all sorts of horrible things. So that is what Trump is doing to our nation's poor, and that's what he's going to keep on doing. So what do we do? What do we do about this? These horrors that Trump is inflicting upon us? Well, I can't tell you, but I do not like Trump's rules. I don't like the GOP's rules, which is pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. You have to work for a living, even if you're disabled, even if you're poor, even if you're elderly. You have to work for a living, and nobody gets any breaks. And give all the taxes back to the rich, and don't make them pay any taxes. And so I don't like those rules either, because it's discrimination against the disabled, obviously, and the elderly who have paid into the system. Poor elderly people have paid thousands of dollars into the Social Security system, and then they're going to cut off their Social Security. That's what they've been wanting to do all along, is end Social Security. So there's nothing we can do. For now, there's nothing we can do except give Trump his border wall, which is a deplorable thing, and the Democrats are right to oppose it, but people can't live without their food stamps for very long, or without their Social Security, so they're going to have to give him his border wall. Hopefully they'll tear it down within a few generations. It'll be just like the Berlin Wall. It'll fall, and people will be glad, and they'll strip it down with their bare hands. But they won't be able to strip it down if it's made of steel. But welders will come and melt it or something. But it can't last. No wall that can last long in this world. And that's one of the things that can't last. It's a border wall. But for now, we're in desperate situation, desperate straits. I don't know why the Democrats are stalling. They shouldn't stall. They're playing Russian roulette with this guy. They're playing, I don't know, to their constituents. I don't know who they're playing to, or whether they're just following their consciences. But they're playing with Trump, and he's playing hardball, and he's not going to quit. These corporate types are hard-nosed, and they don't give in. They don't give in. They just wait until they get what they want. So they shouldn't make innocent people suffer because of that, because of Trump. So borders, immigration, which is a messed up system here in America, and they haven't fixed it. They said they would fix immigration, and they haven't fixed it. Trump says he only wants smart people, but people who aren't so smart and people who are poor are willing to take menial jobs, and it's not the smartest people we need, it's the menial labor is what we need. We have a shortage of workers who are willing to work the fields where our strawberries and raspberries are harvested. There's a shortage of workers to work in the cleaning industries, you know, who are willing to do menial labor, janitorial jobs, that sort of thing, and housekeepers, things like that. So we have a shortage of people who are willing to take these jobs, and people from Mexico are more than willing and happy to take these jobs. So keeping out the people that Trump considers dumb, and he said that he loves dumb people, but he doesn't really love them because if they're Mexican. So um, not a good guy, not a good guy, not a smart guy. Uh, these are all fair criticisms. He'll probably never see this video, but it's out there just for future reference for future historians in case you want to follow things that rules I don't like. There's lots of more rules that I don't like that I think are unfair, and that, you know, the system is hard. It's hard on people, and it causes hardship on people, and they follow the rules. They're sticklers for rules, and it's hard to follow rules, especially if you're disabled. So that's it. Don't follow the rules if you can possibly help it. If you have to follow rules, then follow them, but shun rules whenever you get a chance, and don't conform. Don't conform to people's rules, and try to be a rebel. Be a rebel and fight back against unfair rules. I'm Sarah Jane Alpha Wolf signing off. Have a terrific week and take care.